Okay, one single instance, no other solution can bring in, not even a 50% of this value any other solution can bring in. Okay, and that is why it is provides very high strategic solution value in terms of long run. In terms of cost, it gives you humongous saving to the bank. And regarded as industry's best architecture, this kind of architecture, I know the companies are competition is striving too high, trying very hard, but there is no other competition. If you can communicate this value, and if we can plan our sales accordingly, okay, we can definitely increase our sales multifold. Okay. Secondly, I just want to also give you one more thought. Like for example, if you are selling core banking solution, if there are 10 banks, then there are 10 requirements. In case of OFSAA, there are 100 requirements, because OFSAA covers minimum 10 models that customer will need. Out of 100, how many would be there filled up? Right. So my request to you, all of you, that please map these requirements. If you go after any specific account you go after or bank you go after, if you go after 5 banks, definitely there would be one or the other requirement. It wouldn't be in any other cases, but in OFSAA you will definitely find the requirements, and there would be deals happening. And this business doesn't stop anywhere. Every year there are some or the other new regulatory requirements, something new or the other coming in. Right now it is IFRS 9. Okay, next year it would be something else. So it's always business. This year also you can make your numbers by selling OFSAA. Next year also you can make your numbers by selling OFSAA. Right? Just have to have that grip. Right? Specifically to JMR, okay. Now when I say about JMR, I have also seen other large system integrations and organizations which are working on as an Oracle partner. We are as good as anybody, right? We are as good as Oracle Consulting. We are as good as TCS of the organization in terms of our delivery. We have executed projects in 5 different continents, various locations. Okay, we have really done integrated projects which many of them wouldn't have done. For example, Africa Bank, right, where we have ALM, FTP, and anti-money laundering. These are 2 different suits, right? 2 different streams of OFSAA, right, which are done on a single instance. Very rarely anybody would have done. All the requirements, for example, whichever clear category requirements on FCCM, EPM, and ERM, all of them we have executed, right? And everywhere we have references. Everywhere we have references. In terms of our delivery team, please be confident about delivery team. All our customers are referenceable, right? We have all ex-Oracle people. We have all ex-bankers, right? Ravi is going to have a presentation next. He is ex-banker. He has worked in treasury. So please completely confident about our delivery team, and don't hesitate to communicate. Just don't hesitate to communicate to the top management of the bank. Give them the required confidence, give them the required confidence about the solution, the value that they bring in, and the unique cost and delivery advantage that JMR brings in, right? I'm 100% sure if we go in this way, we will definitely be able to hit our numbers. Okay, that's where I would like to conclude this session. Any other, any comment, any question on this?
Kedar,
yeah.
Say.
Yes, sir.
Good. It has been well articulated for us to understand the foundation of OFSAA, so the basics of OFSAA.
Unmuted.
You rightly pointed out that on the regulatory compliance, so no bank can escape from the regulatory compliance, correct? So they are supposed to submit a lot of reports monthly and yearly. But I'm surprised to understand from this market that even though it is an compulsory requirement, the banks are not having much budget to procure any regulatory related solution. That is one observation I have observed in this market. I'm not sure about the other geo. This is happening in the East Africa and maybe some part of Central Africa as well. Okay. Second observation that you said the large financial institution 20 out of 28 is using OFSAA. And of course, OFSAA is beautiful product when we compare with any other analytical applications. So we can't compare our solution with the Virmati solution or 3A in Kotak or anybody else. Of course, our solution is much, much superior. But my observation is, like, in case if a bank is asking for FlexCube referral site, I am able to show 15 plus sites in East Africa. Okay, and if they ask sites for Oracle ERP, I am able to show to 50 plus sites. But in spite of having a very good application from the Oracle itself, why we are not able to have much referral sites in this region? Is it only in the Africa or across the geo? This is the one question normally I used to get from few CROs, like why we are not having much sites when comparing to the other analytical applications vendor like SAS. So
okay.
how should I address this?
Okay, so the first portion of your point which you made is about budgets and all. I think it is very specific to Geo, but at the same time I would say there is no customer who would say that I have budget, so I am there for shopping. But budget is a challenge, I think, specific to your job. But in India also I have faced a similar challenge. For example, CRISIL is a risk management solution. Harish, can you unmute? Ravi, please.
Yeah, Harish is just went for some meeting. I'm handling it. Hello.
Okay, please unmute Ravi. Okay.
Yeah.
But just to give you one example on that, Sayed, CRISIL is a very good application of risk management. But in India, in last 5 years, we have not lost, or SAS or Oracle didn't lose, or maybe say 80% of the orders business has gone to SAS and Oracle compared to CRISIL. Okay. The only thing is that only difference that we could found is that the entire stakeholder was very clear. It's not only about customers or only about sellers. The other consultant fraternity and the OEM implementation providers match was so good that we could manage that. And about your question about referenceability, honestly, I don't have much view about Africa, but I think we should try this. So I will take this as an action item, so that next time maybe you give me some time, let me try and work this out, so that we should not have this kind of a situation where if customer is asking for some kind of a reference, we should be able to throw at least 5-10 good names which are referenceable. For example, in India or OFSAA has 17 implementations. Okay, so we were never worried, and we never had this issue. Okay, I think Shailesh want to contribute, but Shailesh, we are not able to hear you.
Shailesh, you are unmuted. Can you please hear me? Hello. Hello, Shailesh. Are you there?
Shailesh can hear us, but we are not able to hear Shailesh.
Okay, fine. Kedar, one more thing. Normally when we discuss about OFSAA, we say that it comes with a number of scenarios. So what is in the latest version, what is the inbuilt number of scenarios we have?
You're asking about anti-money laundering?
Yeah.
Okay, anti-money laundering, we have close to around 100 odd scenarios. But I think let's keep that thunder for the session which we are going to have day after. Okay, where we can get into a bit of details of that.
I have one more question. Maybe I think this will be relevant during our AML session. But just to prepare ourselves, the latest version FC UBS 12.x that also have an AML module. Okay, and wherever we are projecting FlexCube latest version, so this also when we demonstrate, the people observe that there is an AML module. But on the other side, we are proposing separately OFSAA for AML and KYC. So maybe when we have the third day session, maybe you can take us through like what is covered under AML in UBS, and how can we project OFSAA AML, even though when we tell core banking system.
Yeah, fine. I think I've noted this. Even I don't have right now answer even if I try.
Yeah, yeah. We'll discuss on
But
the third day.
we will discuss on this. Okay. Yeah, similar problem is with the Temenos as well. Temenos also has AML module. But on the features and capacity, I think we can definitely handle that. That's what I'm sure of. But let's discuss in detail down the line.
Okay, fine.
For others, I have a question because especially I think Syed is quite experienced person. But for the others, have we really? Do you have any questions or have we really got the communication? Or if you have slightest of doubt, you can raise it now or later as well, please. Ravi, can you take over from here? Soumya,
Yeah.
can you
Yes.
present right to Ravi?
Yes. Sure. Sure.
Audible? Together?
Hello, I can hear you, but I am not sure whether you can hear me.
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Yes, perfect.
Ravi, go ahead. You are the printer now. Share your screen. Hello.
That's what I'm looking for the option. Okay. I hope it is visible. Suman, let me know once you're able to view my screen.
Hello.
No, at least I'm not able to hear it.
Hello.
Kedar here.
Yeah, I can hear you, Ravi. Hello. Yeah, please go ahead.
I cannot see your presentation, Ravi.
Yeah, please share your screen, Ravi.
You have to go in the right hand side, there would be an icon. You have to click on that additionally. Show my screen icon.
Now I have option to switch. Better now? Kedar?
Yeah, I can. I think I can see your desktop. But your voice is not coming so clear. Anyway, you go on. You start now.
Okay. So thank you, Kedar, for the introductory session. Now let me continue increase and the moment primary discussion ability. So before we begin, I have a small question for everybody. I want everybody to answer this question then before going ahead with the session. Kedar has introduced OFSAA platforms and how do we how many broad categories we have or we have discussed in the PPT or we have discussed offline also during several we can
Kedar here. I am actually not getting your voice, Ravi. Hello. Hey, Soumya, are you able to hear Ravi?
Yeah. Actually, it's just yeah, I can hear him.
You are able to. All of you are. No, Rajiv is also saying he cannot hear.
Okay.
I think someone else also
Ravi,
heard
can
him.
you please test the audio? Just computer audio is coming or not?
I tested it maybe because of
Hey, none
network
of them
issue.
are able to hear. Vinod,
There's a
Ankit, they are not able to hear.
Okay. Kindly do the sound check so it can. Hello, Ravi. Can you do a sound check option? Can you click on sound check option? Hello.
Soumya, can you come in once?
Yeah. I'm just coming.
ठीक अच्छे लैन कनेक्शन आसुनी वाईफाई चालू है
Ravi, are you in Wi-Fi or on LAN?
Guys, give us 5 minutes. We are setting up.
okay Kedar is it better now
Yeah, it is better.
okay so sorry for the inconvenience. So we were talking about the categories of broad categories for OFSAA. So I wanted an answer from everybody saying what broad categories or how many of them are available. We have discussed that during the discussion with Kedar now.
CPM, ERM, FCCM, customer analytics.
So I was expecting the first answer to come from Sayed only. Okay guys, so let me continue with the subject that is transfer pricing and profitability. Before we discuss the solution, we try to understand the main objective of this particular discussion is to make you all familiar with the solution and how can we map or depending on any requirement or query that comes from the customer, how can we best decide ourselves which solution would fit the requirement before it comes to delivery. So our subject of discussion for today would be transfer pricing and profitability. During the course of the discussion, anyone have any concern, any clarifications to make, please raise your hand. We will discuss that, then take it forward. And this is going to be a completely business level discussion, no IT discussions to happen, and I'll try to make it as simpler as possible. So the first slide itself is self-explanatory, wherein I have highlighted the challenges for banks and FIs. And how do we pitch in transfer pricing and profitability? What are the core challenges for the banks? So when I talk about the basic activity for a bank, that is lending and borrowing. Banks borrow money from public, be it in terms of fixed deposits, any kind of wholesale borrowing depending on the definitions they have, and those money they lend it to the public in terms of loans. So in the exchange of money borrowing and lending, bank earns profit and we call it as interest. Transfer pricing as an application will help you understand how much is your cost of your funds or how much cost you incur to mobilize deposits from public. And while you lend, it will give you a picture of how much actually you are earning in terms of interest expended and interest earned. Any doubt on this? Because that is the whole crux of transfer pricing module, which will give you how much of margin or spread you are getting out of your lending and borrowing activities, be it any kind of borrowing or any kind of loan.
Ravi, just correct my understanding.
Yes.
Before I raise my question, this is the one module which does not exactly hit our mind. For example, if I say customer analytics, I can sense what will be the functionality from the term itself. Credit risk, market, I can get something. AML, KYC, fraud management, I know the term itself reveals the functionality. But this is the only word, fund transfer pricing. This term, maybe most of the guys may not rightly hit that this is the module which is going to talk about. So that
Okay.
you need to spend some time on that, number one. And number
Okay.
two, my understanding is that, just correct me, in case
Yeah.
if there is a change in the lending rate from in a bank, how it is going to have an impact in the business. So this module will help the bank to understand that. Is it something
Yes.
related to that?
Yes. When I talk about this module or any particular solution, we are talking about analytics. And when I talk about analytics, it is all about reporting. And this report helps the management to take decisions. Coming to the second question, if I talk about any lending, any upward or downward movement in your lending rates or anything, you'll come to know how much is the differential on your spread. On a particular date, you were earning 3%, now you are earning 2% or 3.5%. So based on that, you can take a call at what rate you should lend further or you should borrow further. Clear, Sayed, for the second question?
Okay. Okay.
So now let me give you a very simple example. Let us place ourselves as a bank. Okay, I am going to give you the example of what is the concept of transfer pricing mean for a bank and why it is so important for the any financial institution or banks. As a bank, I may have customer who has salary account, and say if you are a salary account holder for a bank, that means you are keeping your deposits with the bank, isn't it?
Right.
So that is one kind of borrowing for the bank. Likewise, you create a fixed deposit again. That is another kind of borrowing. You
Right.
create any other kind of deposit or you park your money in bonds or something through banks. That is again a borrowing for the bank. Bank is taking your money.
Right.
That is asset for you as an individual basis. But if you think as a bank, that is a borrowing for you, for the bank. Bank take your money and deploy it to somebody who is in need of a loan. Needless to say, in a higher rate of interest to earn profit. So as a bank, I have multiple type of customers or multiple channels available to raise money from the market. As I said, as a retail bank, I'll have retail customers. Or as a treasury, I can borrow money from outside external markets also. Or I can issue bonds and raise money from the public. So I am talking about different products through which I can raise deposits. So when I raise money, there is an interest rate linked to each of the deposits, isn't it? Let's say I borrowed today 1 million at 4%, tomorrow 5 million at 3.5%, likewise 10 borrowings I did at different rates. It might happen. This is a clear possibility, isn't it, Syed?
Obviously.
End of the day, how will I know what is my actual cost of borrowing if I do an weighted average? If it is 10 transactions, I can do it a manual calculation in Excel itself of how much I am paying interest to get this kind of deposit as a bank. Now assume I have 10 million customers. Is it possible for me to compute the cost of borrowing or cost of fund for the in total for the bank? Second scenario, I might maintain multiple systems like core or any other system like your treasury also wherein you enter your borrowing activities, anything. There might be multiple systems where you maintain multiple product data. How will I collate that data, keep it in the one place and compute my cost of fund? This is a very challenging task for any financial institution or a bank. Using transfer pricing module, in a click of a button, I will come to know what is my cost of borrowing. Second step, if I know what is my cost of borrowing, if I know how much of margin I need to keep, let's say after doing all the borrowing calculation, I came to understand my total money raised is $5 billion and the interest what I pay is 2%. Now I will decide myself that I should earn at least a margin of 2%. So your cost of borrowing plus this 2% should be your lending rate. That is how I can decide it. Since OFSAA is an application, it will take your actual data available in the bank in multiple systems, multiple source systems, collate the data, do the weighted average calculation depending on various methodologies available, various scenarios available. Then I come to know what is my borrowing and accordingly what is my development rate it should be. Hope I answered your question, Syed, or any other, because let us try, invest some more time on this, but I want to know your understanding if it is clear to you, or shall I give some other example?
Excellent, excellent. Now I got the point. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now, second line I mentioned, accountability for business owners for their respective business units. How does it correlate? Because as I said, transfer pricing as an application will give you how much of margin you are earning. But what about accountability now? It's a simple case. Again, I'm giving you a live example of, as a branch manager. Assume we are all branch managers of a particular branch in a bank. Instead of I get involved in multiple activities of, concentrating on the profitability of the branch, maintaining the staff, the admin expenses, HR related activities, everything I take care of. If I only focus on a particular activity that is generating business, my productivity will go up, isn't it? That way, I assign a particular task to the branch manager saying, you please focus on raising deposits. Treasury as a central business unit will focus on creating assets. So it becomes, the branch manager's job becomes very easier then. He can only focus on creating deposits. That's why in that way, if I have analytics in place, I can make accountable the branch managers only to focus on raising deposits. I have fixed an accountability. Likewise, I'll have one asset manager. I will tell him, please do not focus on deposits, only focus on creating loans. His primary and secondary objective would be to create loans only. So I have fixed another set of accountability to another manager. I have done a segregation of activities with my staff, and they are accountable for their respective targets. So there is transparency in the system, there is automation in the system, there is no chance of any errors, and better reporting in a timely way. That is the concept here. Is clear, this particular point?
Yes.
Now, third point is reflection of true earnings for each business unit. I might have different business units. With the help of the structures, dimension, multi-dimensional approach, this is a concept based on which, in a click of a button, if I could know how much of the spread, I could also know how much of spread I am earning from what business unit, what particular branch, what geography, or which line of business, or which type of customers, or which type of relationship manager, on the click of a button. There is no separate processing required. That is the beauty of multi-dimensional approach. Now, when I say 360-degree view, when I talk about the business of banking, it never ends at lending and borrowing of money. That is the basic activity or primary activity for any bank. But apart from that, I do get involved in some fee-based activities also. And in carrying out those business or those activities, I do incur some cost also. So based on interest earned or interest expended, what I earn, that is my profit from interest. But if I want to say what is my net profit, I have to account for indirect incomes and indirect expenses also. So that I'll come to a figure, and which I can report to the regulator saying this is the profit I got in this particular quarter. So there is an interdependability between transfer pricing and profitability module in OFSAA. I start with transfer pricing module, wherein I'm talking about interest rate exposure products, be it assets and liabilities. I get the margin, then I add indirect income, deduct indirect expenses, I come to the true profit. And this profit I can look, or I can view at individual customer level itself, at the individual account level itself. That is the beauty of application. Any questions? I would really expect minimal questions
Santanu
on
has
this.
some question. Santanu, you are unmuted. Please go ahead. Hello, Santanu. You are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yes, Antanu. Let me know your question.
Hello, Santanu. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Santanu, go ahead.
Yes, yeah. So as I could understand from your presentation, you said transfer pricing, is it interlinked to, the outcome, the final outcome is profitability. So you, through transfer pricing, we are able to arrive at profits at different levels.
Yes, I said I am able to arrive at the margin or spread I am earning out of interest earned and interest expended.
Okay. Okay.
But true profitability, it will come into picture when I take into account the
Muted. Unmuted.
and other things. This is how the concept of profitability and transfer pricing. Transfer pricing, when I say I'm only talking about margin or spread, what I earn out of two activities, that is lending and borrowing. That's it.
Okay. So the end result is profitability, right? Through transfer pricing, we are able to arrive at profitability.
See, when I say margin or spread, that is kind of profit. But true profit will come into picture. Let's say, Santanu, to give a fair example, you did a business of $2 million this quarter, okay? But is it the real income for the company, for JMR as such? No, right? Because JMR has to pay you salary, some other expenses, your internet charges, everything. They have to deduct that from the profit earned by you. Then I would say this is the true profit from your side, or this is the true profit from Santanu.
Okay.
Because you have accounted for indirect expenses also or direct expenses also. But transfer pricing only between two activities, interest earned, interest expended. Difference is my spread or margin. Hope it is clear, Santanu.
Yeah, clear. But I was just wondering that if there is uneven number of lending and uneven number of borrowings, like the numbers are not matching, for example. Like I have,
It will
as a
never
bank,
match.
it will never match.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Because it
that's
might
where it
so
will
happen.
be.
I can give you two examples, okay? If you look at SBI, they have so many customers, millions of customers. State Bank of India, that is one nationalized bank in India, which is the largest private sector bank, public sector bank, wherein they focus on retail customers more. But if I give you an example of Kotak Mahindra Bank or some other bank who have started operation recently, they mainly focus on wholesale activities. Like they will raise money from one or two people, huge amount of money, and lend it to several people. So this concept of matching between assets and liabilities is never going to happen. All I am saying is how much money I have, how much interest I am earning, and how much interest I am paying. The difference is profit, and that is coming out of transfer pricing module.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other has any questions with them? Hello. Please raise your hand. Hello.
If somebody had a question, because if this slide there is no question, I would understand that we have completed the training in slide 1 itself, because that is the whole crux of transfer pricing profitability, which I have put it in one slide itself. Other slides are just
Better way we just start our poll. So we just give some activities with the sellers. Those who are
Ankit is asking something.
yeah, Ankit. Ankit,
Yes,
please
Ankit.
go ahead.
Even Jayanta has a question, but Jayanta, I will unmute you.
Can you
Hello,
unmute?
Ravi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kedar.
This is
I think
Ankit,
Ankit.
Ravi.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
hi
Ankit.
Kedar.
Jayanta, you hold on. Ankit is already asking question. After that, you
Sure,
can.
sure. Okay.
Now, what I understand, Ravi, this transfer pricing and profitability module of the OFSAA is used by the Treasury Department. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is used by the person who is sitting at the center, who has a complete view of the bank.
Complete
So
view
it
of the
is,
bank. So is it the Treasury Department? The Treasury
yes,
head?
usually it is CFU. In most of the banks, it is CFU, Central Funding Unit,
Factually,
with nothing but Treasury.
Okay.
so factually,
Now, one
go ahead. What is the question?
now the question here is, now once the for instance, now this is also takes care of the FX. Now, for instance, a client usually banks also deal with the FX incoming and outgoing FX or FX losses. So even the transfer pricing module of the OFSAA, does it also has the FX model inbuilt in it?
Okay, FX, it is just a product, Ankit, just like salary account, fixed deposit, term deposit. FX is also a product. Okay,
Right.
so it has nothing to do with transfer pricing.
No,
What?
because what I understand is, for instance, there are interbank rates which is tied up between two different banks. Whenever
Yes,
the
yes.
bank is lending money from one bank to the other bank, there are interbank rates which is given between the banks.
Okay.
Now, for instance, I want to know if the Treasury wanted to know the profit of how much of
Yes.
profit have I earned from FX loss. Is it possible to do the same thing in this?
Yes, exactly. As I said, I can see my profit at different dimension level, multi-dimensional approach, right? The fourth point. So as product-wise, I can know what is my profit or loss. As currency-wise, I can know what is my profit or loss. Geography-wise, I can see what is my profit or loss.
So it can be
So it is
any
very
any
much
mo-
possible.
any module set.
Yes, yes, any product.
Okay, thank you, Ravi.
Okay. And yes, Jayanta, please go ahead.
Hey, hi, Ravi. See, my question is again, it's like, coming to liquidity. For an example, once you, ascertain the profitability, net profit, after,
Okay.
analyzing your deposit and your payout, in terms of, so will the system will show you the how much of liquidity bank should maintain in terms of paying out to the depositor, in terms of your FD payout or maybe your, interest on a saving account. Will the system
Yes.
show you that data as well?
That is possible in ALM and LRM application modules.
Okay.
Transfer price is only related to rates and how much of margin you are. That's it.
Oh, okay. No, but when you said when it says 360 degree view, okay, in that
360
case,
pure profitability.
profitability, right? Okay.
And
No,
profitability
but then
comes out of your interest earned and interest expended.
okay. Now, head of the fund or probably the head of the treasury, if you would also like to see what is the liquidity they need to maintain, okay, so will they be able to see or they have to go to LRM to see that, kind of liquidity rate?
Honestly, as often I know, there is transfer pricing module, there is profitability module, there is LRM, there is ALM. Okay,
Right,
but as a
right,
banker, I will never come to know which is solution what, and they did not understand that also.
right.
All they need to have is these three licenses. They will only log into OBA screen, irrespective of the modules. They
Okay.
will click on any report they want to view, they can view. That's it. But internally, as IT experts, we should know, okay, I should have transfer pricing, profitability, ALM, LRM for the requirements.
Right. Okay. I got it.
Okay,
So your
Jugani
data modeling.
okay, go ahead, Jayanta, go ahead. Go ahead.
So your data modeling is going to give them the complete view, and and through the reporting they're going to
Exactly.
see what is required, right? Okay.
Exactly. And this is the concept of unified data model, Jayanta. When you
Right.
say unified data model, data of from one particular solution can be used for other solution instead of
Okay.
fetching that data again and again.
All right. I got it right, Ravi. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Jugani has one question. Yeah, go ahead, Jugani.
Yeah, it was same as Jayanta's. I wanted to know on the 360-degree view of profitability.
Okay, okay. Okay, Ravi, go ahead.
Okay.
Shall
Any
we
other
start the
questions
poll?
from anyone? Now wait. Any other questions from anyone? If not, I have some 7-8 questions for you all. And this is the interesting time. Let me test myself if I am able to deliver, the exact or the objective is achieved. If you all could attend the polls now. It's very simple. It's only true and false. You guys have to answer. So let me start with the first question. I have given the first question.
Guys, you have 20 seconds to respond.
Can somebody change their option also if I have answered something? If you want to change it? No. Okay. I hope everybody answered it. Yes. Okay. So guys, the question was FTP, does FTP calculate cash flow and stress testing? Uh, when I talk about cash flow, it is about inflow and outflow of funds, no relation to interest rate. When I say stress testing, I need to see, given a situation, how much of money I have with me or how much stress I can carry forward. That is cash flow and stress testing. And transfer pricing is nowhere related to profitability. So who have answered true? Is it clear to all of you? I'm glad that 64% people answered it rightly. So whoever has said true?
I think 40% answer is true.
Yes, I'm asking them if they understood the concept of what is cash flow, what is stress testing, and it is nowhere related to FTP.
You cannot see who has answered what, I guess.
Okay. Okay, I hope it is clear now, the question what I have put across.
It will
Now,
get better clear in ALM also.
yes. Okay, I'm closing this. I'll give you one more question. Okay, this is one of the easiest question and I want 100% answer. Correct answer, Dada. I have launched it. Guys, voting started. Wow. I was pretty happy when I saw 100% true, but now the dynamics is changing.
Ravi, you're predictable.
No, I gave that hint actually, Kedar. I'm sad because none of the questions it is going more than 80. That means I'm not able to convey the right message towards profitability, the objective of these two modules. Okay, so I got the voting for this one. Let me go for the last question. Then let us try to understand what was the confusion. Okay, because if we can clear our doubts in this particular side, there is no other discussion required. Okay, here you go, the third one.
Ravi, you can just take us through the second question.
Yes, I'll go to that, Said. I'm just waiting for the poll to conclude. We'll go through that. 59% voted so far. I hope others are able to hear me. This should have been 100% in 10-15 seconds only. It should not take much time. %76%. I think 5 people yet to vote. Fair enough. At least I'm glad we got 81%. The benchmark, we crossed it. Okay. Syed, the question was, does FTP takes into account only direct income and direct expense of the bank? Isn't it? That was the question, right?
Right.
So when I say the basic activity for any bank, that is lending and borrowing. Okay. So before I lend, I need to borrow from market. So if I borrow from market, I have to pay them interest. That is called direct expense. And the borrowed money I give as a loan to people and I earn interest out of it. That I can call direct income for me. The differential of these two is my margin of spread. It's clear, Sayed?
So this does not handle the indirect income and indirect
Yes,
expenses.
exactly. When I say indirect income, it could be fees, right? Not interest.
Yes. Yes.
Indirect expenses, it could be salary, rent, interest, electricity bill, all those things. So these are the difference. FTP, I will only include interest earned and interest expended. That is through interest rate. And which is taken care of in transfer pricing.
Do you have any mechanism to check on the indirect income and indirect expense?
Yes, exactly. We will do that when we go to profitability.
So
What will happen? Right? Yes, please.
the next point of 360-degree view on profitability could have done some confusion. Maybe you can explain that again, because that is where the fee-based income you also spoke, right?
Yes.
So that is only for profitability. That I think that has to get clear.
Yeah, what I'm saying 360 view on profitability is I can have the profitability view from all dimensions aspect, from a multi-dimensional aspect I'm saying. Through products, what product is profitable to me and which is not, which customer type is profitable to me, which geography I'm doing well, which line of business I'm doing well, or which RM category is doing well. So when I say a combination of these two, transfer pricing and profitability, I will have the complete 360 view on the profitability earnings. But when I say direct income, direct expense, only TP, transfer pricing. Anything else that we will take care in profitability.
Perfect.
I think somebody else has a question. Syed, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. So direct income, direct expense will be handled through FTP. So
yes.
Indirect income, indirect expense, plus maybe I think profitability can also handle direct income, direct expense, right?
Yes.
To an extent, yes. Because you can usually bankers, they call it as margin of spread. They never say transfer pricing profitability, but profitability from banking terms you can say after accounting for your indirect income expenses also this is my profit.
Fine, got your point. Thanks.
Okay, Janta has a question. Janta, please go ahead. Okay, Ravi, go ahead.
Yeah, that's my mistake. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is the sort what we were talking about. The four broad categories. The first question what I asked. This is performance management. The left hand side it is risk. Bottom end that is compliance. And the right hand side that is customer insight. So when I say performance insight, performance management, it is nothing but performance. And how best you can judge or what way you can judge the performance of a bank, that is through profits only. So transfer pricing and profitability, balance sheet planning, these are the solutions which gives you a 360 view on your profits earnings. That is why it is called performance management. Very simple. If you understood the first slide, this concept would be clear to all of you. Any questions?
If you don't mind, can you please repeat what you said?
Okay. When I say performance management, what is the performance of a bank? How can I judge it? that is through profits only, right? Which bank is earning how much of profit, isn't it, Sayed? So if I have a module, transfer pricing and profitability, which gives me or shows me how much of profit I'm earning, a 360 view on my profits or earnings. That is why these two modules are part of performance management. There is nothing else.
Okay.
When
Did you
say
say
risk
anything on
management,
balance sheet planning?
sorry?
Did you say anything on balance sheet planning?
Yeah, balance sheet planning also a part of it. But these are all interdependent, Syed. I don't want to confuse everybody because the first step is to compute your margin, right? That is out of your lending and borrowing activities. Then you talk about indirect expenses, other things. Then
Perfect.
after that, if you go to share capital, debentures and all that, I'll come to know about balance sheet planning, isn't it? So these are a step-by-step approach. But first thing to understand what is performance management, we spoke about transfer pricing and profitability.
Very good.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. But guys, hope you all remember what you have answered for the first three questions. We are going to have that exam again
Ravi,
or
Jamil
poll
has a
again.
question. Jamil?
Yes, Emmanuel. Yes,
Yeah,
please
Jamil,
go ahead.
Ravi, there is something called as Financial Services Data Foundation, right? FSDF.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't see that in the previous slide of yours.
Okay.
Does it as a fifth pillar or
Okay.
it's integrated?
Yeah. I'm going to the previous slide. Okay. You have a very good point, Sarmaji. When you talk about data foundation, this is the new name. The old name of data foundation was OFSDW. That was data warehouse. So when you say data warehouse, it is nothing but a go down where you store your data, actual data.
Okay.
That data, when you segregate, that becomes subject area or modules. Let's say transfer pricing, it will need certain section of your data warehouse data. Profitability would require certain section of your data warehouse data. Credit risk, like that. Market risk, a specific area. So these are all subject areas. Each module is a subject area. And the entire set of data you store at some place that is called data foundation. So if there is no data foundation or no data warehouse, if you implement the solutions, you don't have data. What is the benefit of it or use of it? That is what the concept is. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Any other questions?
Ravi, one thing I want you to understand.
Yes.
When we talk about this profitability, there is a component from Oracle apps also,
Okay.
which will have the same terms and functionalities from the Oracle financials. So from, as we handle both OFSAA and also from Oracle apps in sales perspective, and the customer is considering the ground reality, Oracle sales guys are pushing for Oracle apps, especially on the profitability for all the banks. And when we position OFSAA profitability for all the banks, okay. So how to classify, like this is from Oracle and this is from Oracle apps and this is the functionality, and this is from OFSAA and this is the functionality for in terms of profitability. Maybe if you can share me something on that.
Excellent question, Sayed. I'll give you a real-time example of how we have handled it in one of the clients, please. Okay. If I talk about State Bank of Mauritius, okay, they have taken profitability from OFSAA, they have taken profitability from apps. But the functionality for each of the module is different. To compute your real-time profitability, OFSAA profitability will come into play. But to do a forecasting of your profitability, you will need HPCM for Oracle Financials. So yes, we can propose both, and there has to be integration. But first step is to know how much is the actual profit you are earning. If you do not have this standalone solution, I cannot sell HPCM to them. If some bank has the provision or the requirement to compute or do the forecasting of the profitability, yes, we can pitch for these two modules. There are certain element of you know, interrelation which happens, and that is why Oracle is coming up with multiple data packs now, wherein you can do an integration, same unified data model concept. System can talk to OFSAA, system can talk to Oracle Financials also. It is one family. But we need to be very specific which particular module is going to meet the requirement straight away. Hope it is clear, Sayed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, Ravi, my
Yes.
question is again coming back to the data warehousing part, see
Okay.
if customer does not have the practice of data warehousing in their, okay, and they just have different Oracle database instances running, okay, so
Okay.
so in that scenario, how do you go and deploy this suite and, pull out the data?
Okay. It is very simple, Jayanta. Data foundation, it is a more advanced version of data warehouse, I can say, which has
Right,
different clusters which store your data in different pockets.
okay.
There could be other data warehouse the customer might have taken. In that case, I may not, pitch in for this particular data foundation because customer has already invested in it.
If they do not have anything, yeah,
Anything, then definitely we can go for data foundation. What will happen
okay,
is data foundation help of that you can store all your data, banking data, from multiple source systems in one place. From
okay.
there, depending on your requirement, you can pull out that actual data or that particular data so that it helps you save time and the processing becomes faster.
So that can be built on Oracle database or how is it built on?
It is usually Oracle database. You plan it.
Okay.
This data foundation that is based on Oracle database only.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
But
right.
it is not mandatory to have data foundation to sell any OFSAA module.
Hmm.
That is my point.
Okay. No, but my question is now in that case, how are they going to do the data modeling? Okay, so let's say they have few applications running on different Oracle database and they have different licenses or database servers running in that in a bank, right? In that case, how are they going to do?
It is the question of the architecture, how best you can design it. It is a very open-ended question, Jayanta.
Hmm.
Depending on the situation, we can propose a solution. But
Okay.
as Oracle family, I say, okay, let us go ahead with data foundation for any big banks, so that they have all your respective data set in one place. From there, I'll pull out the necessary data for each respective module. It will
Okay.
make the process easier, the job simpler and accurate in an
Okay.
effective, timely manner. That is the motto.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
I see
Okay.
Ratish sir has a question. Yes, sir. Do you have a question?
Who's that? Who has a question?
Sir, I am asking you, do you have a question?
No, I don't have.
Okay, actually I wanted to understand, sir, if you are there in the session or not, because no questions is coming from you.
I joined in late because I was in a meeting with Jafar and Vijay. I just joined in.
Okay. So, sir, so far we have discussed the profitability and the transfer pricing module and how it is relevant for the banks. This is what we have discussed so far.
Right.
Now,
Go ahead, Ravi.
we have discussed what is transfer pricing, what data is required, profitability, what data is required at the broad level. This is the transfer pricing process what we spoke. Let us understand we as a bank, okay? This treasury is where we are sitting. We have people who are working as in the liability center, who take money from people and generate deposits for the bank. And we have people in the loan section or asset section who give loan to the people. Okay? As a treasury, we collect the money. If you see from the right hand side, I collect the money, I give it to the asset center. In the process, I earn margin. This is a simple example of transfer pricing process. Any questions? because visualization of the transfer pricing mechanism or the process is more important. So if this happens, I am clear on this, any kind of requirements related to transfer pricing or profitability, I'll be able to make out quickly and respond to them accordingly to the bankers or to the people who we took on a regular basis for business development. Any questions on this? Okay, Ankit.
Okay, the last bit you mentioned somewhere, I mean, I just missed it. Your voice is breaking, so we just missed it on the last bit. You said that you were talking about the flow.
Yes, the flow talks about the treasury section, sir. We assume we are at treasury, okay? We are at the central office. I deploy people in branches who mobilize deposits from people, be it, salary account, be it fixed deposit, be it any other kind of deposit, RD also. I collect that money as treasury. I give it to FL center to provide loans to people. This is the concept of transfer pricing. When I raise money, I assume I give 4% rate of interest to the customer. I have to earn more than 4% so that I earn a profit, and that is margin. This particular concept of transfer pricing gives me what is my margin or what is my spread out of my lending and borrowing activities. It's a very simple exercise. How much interest I pay to the customer, how much interest I earn to the from the customer, and the differential, that is my margin or that is my spread, which is handled in transfer pricing modules. Ankit, are you clear now?
Yes, Ravi, very clear.
Okay. Once this is done, if I take into account indirect income and indirect expenses, that is my true profitability. So this is the interlink between transfer pricing module and profitability module. So to ask you all a question, what do you think, which comes first, transfer pricing or profitability? Transfer pricing, right?
Transfer pricing.
Once I know what is my margin, then I come to know about profitability. And with the help of multiple dimensions or multi-dimensional approach, which is nothing but your product, customer, currency, location, line of business, or any relationship manager, I am able to know who is contributing what to the business. I need not do an appraisal of them. With the help of OFSAA, OFSAA will do the appraisal, and I am come to know what is the result. Yes, please. Somebody has a question.
No, Ravi, you're breaking. I don't know if others are experiencing the break, but then in between you're breaking. So you're going blank in between.
Oh.
The audio clarity this seems to me. I don't know if others are facing the issue.
It was happening in the beginning, sir, but after that I think we continued, but maybe it's kind of a network challenge, sir. I hope I'm audible now.
What happens is something for instance, if you're borrowing from a different bank.
Ankit, you have a question?
Anybody experiencing the problem that I'm facing?
At least to me it is coming clear, Ravi.
Okay.
Ravi.
Ankit, you can go on mute, Rajiv is saying.
I muted him.
Okay, okay.
Ravi?
Okay. Yes, please.
Ravi, I'm understanding the concept. Definitely it is motivating us to run faster in this market to push this module. Definitely.
Yes.
So this is the basic functionality which every bank will look for.
Yes.
But I'm surprised to know that how the banks are running currently without this fund transfer pricing module. Is there any other module which available in their core banking system itself, or they are not aware of this, or how currently they?
Core banking is limited to your certain activities. I cannot do wholesale banking in core banking application. I cannot do credit card handling in core banking application. I cannot handle trade finance item in core banking application. Core banking has a specific purpose. Likewise, I have multiple product offerings in a bank. So for each different product, I'll have different source systems, just like core banking. Okay, depending on how big the size of the bank is, I'll have number of modules deployed at the bank. But yes, there is no core banking which can do transfer pricing or profitability calculation. You need an analytical solution to do it. And in case this automation or this analytical solution is not available with any bank, they might have some other vendor solution. If not, they would be doing it manually.
This is what I need to understand. Maybe Kedar can help me to understand, especially for this module, Kedar, is there any particular vendor who are specialized in this?
No other small-time vendor is specialized in this, Syed. So my experience about discussing with customers is like this, right? They mostly people are trying to do the data crunching with their teams, large teams available. They know that it is erroneous, that is Herculean task, okay? And wherever people have used, or for example, some CFO or some treasury head has used this anywhere in the organization before, are opting out for similar solutions. But wherever it is not, normally it is done with a lot of manpower and with some amount of error. So these are perfect targets for us to sell, and that's exactly the point of view that we want to bring. That if you want to go and communicate to the customer the value that they create, the correctness of the data, the speed of data, and the manpower which you have put in data crunching, right? Then you can justify the value of investment which you are making in otherwise. Okay.
For this solution, whom should we hit hard? Is it like a CFO or a treasury head or a credit head? Who should be the right?
It is usually say the finance people, the CFO, deputy CFO, or the CEO.
The user perspective is normally treasury, but as Ravi rightly said, see, the correctness of result matters more to CFO. So CFO will vouch for this, will push for this, and also will fund for this.
And sometimes you see this ALCO meetings happening, right? Say any bank. ALCO, it will consist of multiple directors from multiple divisions, wherein they analyze your profitability reports also. So it is one way linked to everybody, but primarily to finance and treasury. Because if you do not know how your product is offering, you will not be able to take a decision which product to market more, which geography to focus more. So again, it is related to everybody, but primarily to finance and treasury. Hope it is clear, Syed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
Why don't you try to say something in chat? Can you please go ahead with
Sheila has no questions so far. Sheila, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No question. Ravi, it was clear up to now.
Okay.
Amar, do you have any question?
Amar,
no.
Amar, we had
Hello?
discussion.
Hello?
Amar is speaking.
Yes, Amar. You have any questions?
Yeah. No questions from my side. Actually, I see the same presentation from Robbie live earlier, so it's okay for me.
Okay. So let me do a poll. I'm going for the next questions. I really hope this time we get more than 90. Last time we stuck at 81% correct answers. Yes, poll started. I'm sure I would be getting 100% answer for this. So far it is 100%. And this is the line, everybody, we should pitch into the customers. And Sheila, if you remember, they were asking about match maturity concept in FTP. So yes, it is related to that. Somebody has a question. Sumya, somebody has a question? Okay. Still 16% yet to vote. I hope it is counting Kedar, Celis, everybody in the audience, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Kedar, you can also answer.
Okay, I'll answer.
Perfect. Thank you all. So I have the next question. Just try to visualize, try to understand the situation, guys. It is something we discussed.
I'm not able to answer.
You can tell me, Kedar.
True.
Yes. Perfect. This question has a lot of discussion that can happen. Let me know. I am looking at the results. It is more than 90% now. If anywhere anyone has a doubt, we can discuss that. It is a very simple concept, and transfer pricing is something it is very important. We can pitch in at any bank. Transfer pricing and profitability. Likewise, I have next question for profitability. Okay, guys, 37% voting, 58. Perfect. Few more left for the voting. Okay. Now there are two questions. I hope I'll take that after some time, after 15 minutes. So guys, this is the PPT I'll share across with everybody. Please go through this. It is all theoretical in nature, but the crux of the modules, the objective of the module, on the necessity of the module, we have discussed in detail, the real-time examples also, and how it is used in the bank. These are few of the things we can adapt in our presentation, or during discussions we can mention all this. There is nothing much to discuss in this particular side. We have covered it all. Concepts. That's the profitability concept. Now, this is one important slide you should all see. We have discussed this. First, with the help of FTP, Fund Transfer Pricing application, I come to know what is my net interest income, NII or margin or spread. Clear? The next step was to include your direct incomes, indirect incomes and indirect expenses, right? So my margin plus my indirect income minus indirect expenses is my profit. This is what I have depicted here. So sequence wise, it has to start with transfer pricing, then accounting for your indirect incomes and expenses, I come to know about my profitability. That is the true profitability. So this is what I have explained in the slide. Hope it is clear to all.
Yep.
Okay. Now these are few of the sample reports. If you look at this particular report, I am saying I have 3 loan products in the bank and what kind of exposure I have and what kind of rate I am earning out of this. So for product 1, that is investment, I earned 5.98%. Likewise from home loan, it is 7.28. From floating loan, that is 11% close to. So on a weighted average basis, my cost or my earning was 6.5%. Likewise, if I compute for my liabilities, it is 2.97. So what would be my margin? 6.5 minus 2.97. This is how I can view my profitability or transfer pricing reports. There's a few example is for a particular bank we have created this. Likewise, we can create multiple reports depending on how the bank wants to see those. And the beauty, as I said, we capture and compute the results at the most granular level, that is at the account level. You can see this is one report wherein I have one particular product, FD, fixed deposit, and the product code is 200001. Under this product, how many accounts are there? I have captured that, and what kind of transfer rate I am generating out of it, that also we can view a report. So OFSAA reports, it is not only for CXO level people or for decision makers. I can assign rights for people, the individual business owners of a business unit or any branch also. I can assign them the access to view the respective reports. Numerical reports, graphical reports, pie charts, any way the bank want to see. And it is not only the immediate reports. I can see the variance reports, like how I did last month or between 2 quarters. Those variance reports I can see, or based on any historical report that I can see. I can see reports currency wise, legal entity wise, everything. The way the bank wants us to design the reports, we can do that. These are the various reports available. On the top, if you see, you can select multiple parameters for which month, for which business unit, for which currency, or which product type. You select that, you can view the report. It is completely dynamic in nature. Okay, any questions? Okay, I assume there is no question for now. So let me go ahead with the poll. I hope you all give a right answer to this. I'm expecting 100% answer for this.
100%, 100%. Ravi, one more point to be clarified.
Yes, sir.
So is OBI is mandatory to get the maximum benefit out of the reports module, or really? It comes with an inbuilt reporting tool?
Not really. OBI is a reporting tool. Likewise, the bank might have invested in some other reporting tool, but what we really suggest to go for the Oracle in-house reporting tool. It is more convenient to the bank, and we do have expertise in that. If the bank has any other reporting tool, we don't mind. If we have the right skill set resource, we can go ahead. Otherwise, the bank can provide that. We're open for that.
Like FluxCube, it comes with an pre-built integrated canned reports. Correct?
Yeah, that was a very different module altogether, Sayed. If I talk about hyper planning also, in the application itself, you can view certain reports, but that is very minimal reports, not analytical reports.
Okay.
And when you say analytics, it is not only the actual data, no? Based on the actual data, you can create your forecasted data or budgeted data or any kind of scenario-based reports you can see. Given a particular situation, how your balance sheet looks like, how your profitability looks like, how your cash flow looks like. There is no end to this, all this. So it is quite, dynamic in nature, and reporting tool is a must. And if it is from Oracle family, OBI, it is very much compatible. It is easy. Okay. So last question. It is especially for Harris. we have got almost all the answers, and I hope you guys understood the concept. You really enjoyed the discussion, the topic. It has certain kind of, this particular session gave you, I believe you had certain kind of advantage out of the session, and we understand now what is transfer pricing, what is profitability, and any other open item discussion I am always available. We can do that, and the coming days also we have OFSAA sessions, and I'll show you how best we can do an integration and the dependability between multiple solutions. Today we saw what is transfer pricing and how can I closely interrelate with profitability. Going forward, we'll see how these solutions or the output of FTP or profitability, is it helpful for other solutions or not. Thank you all for joining today.
Ravi, hi Ravi.
Fantastic Ravi and Kedar. It was very good session. Excellent, and we could capture most of the...
I have a few questions for Ravi.
Yes,
Ravi,
yes.
Yeah, Ravi,
These are not tough ones, Kedar.
sorry?
Hope you are going to ask me simple questions.
Not a commitment.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, how does FTP solution helps pricing of the products? See, what I expect what I expect as an answer to understand that how the pricing mechanism of the product, who are the owners of it, how the FTP solution in turns help them, and what is the overall view. If I have to sell the solution for pricing of the product, how should I pitch for it?
Okay. Kedar, is basically, I have taken out the raw data from the bank system, isn't it? I have processed it. I came to know what is my margin. How do I know my margin? I know what is my cost of borrowing. I know what is my cost of deployment. These are the factors. Once I know this, I have to decide upon, am I, taking deposits or mobilizing resources from market at a higher rate of interest, depending on what is my rate, what is my peer's rate. So these are all analysis will happen, but if you have analytical reports handy, which are accurate. So system doesn't help you to improve your profitability, but system gives you such analytical reports which will help you make a quick decision saying where you stand as of today.
No, my question was slightly different. My question was on product pricing.
Okay.
I have to sell this as a use case of not as a profitability measurement, but say about price products. So,
pricing, it has no direct relation with OFSAA, Kedar. It is all depending on multiple external factors like your peers, everybody, and what is the demand for the product in the market. And first thing is, the only way you can correlate to this is from where you are pulling your funds, at what rate you are getting your funds, then only you will be able to price your product, right? So multiple external factors for that.
you're saying we cannot directly correlate this with the pricing of the product. We cannot tell the bank that if you buy FTP solution, it will help you, to scientifically price the product and not a market-dependent pricing. I cannot make that statement.
No. This is a very open-ended, area, which banks will also ask if it is a, 6% we are talking.
Just to tell you, it works many times anyway. I thought you answer it so that it will get justified anyway.
No, because I'm not, I'm into delivery. I'll only focus on the limitations of OFSAA. I'll not go beyond that.
Okay, one more question.
That was a very good question.
One more question that I have is, see, a lot of banks are looking for, say, greenfield implementations, or say they are just growing. If one of the